Hey, what's going on, nation? I'm Scott from MuscularStrength.com, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to build a nice, big, thick chest. Now, the reason why this video topic came up is because a lot of you asked me how to fix uneven pecs. And I just want to start this video off by saying 99% of the time when someone tells me they have uneven muscles, it has to do a lot with how they flex and lighting and how they're posing in front of the mirror. Most of us don't really have one side that looks way bigger than the other side. It's very minute details that only our crazy minds pick up on, and it mainly stems from a position of, if you're thinking your chest is uneven, you're probably looking at it all the time, and it's an area where you just want to see improvement. So I want you to kind of take this video in as whether you think your chest is uneven or you just want overall improvement. The solution to both is the same thing. You need to do more work on your chest. But it doesn't mean go to the gym for 3 hours longer. It means more work over time throughout the week. You just want to get in, stimulate, and get out. And I'm going to provide you guys with the 2 workouts you should be doing in order to make that happen. But before we get started, if you guys enjoy my videos, show some love, tap that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and you'll never miss a new video upload from me. First things first, if you need to stimulate more chest, and you want to warm up before you do any kind of exercising, but when it comes to the chest more specifically, the biggest issue I see is that a lot of you guys don't know how to properly activate your chest, all right? The mind-muscle connection isn't as strong, and for those of you who don't know, the amount of weight you can lift highly depends on how strong of a contraction you can get out of the muscle. So if you can't send those signals to your chest to contract harder and harder, you're not going to be as strong, not going to be able to lift as much, and then you're not going to see as much growth. But some things you can do before you start your chest day, I want to do 3 quick warm-up exercises, all right? First thing you want to do, warm up the shoulders. And what you're going to do is take a band, and you're just going to do some shoulder breakers. I show this all the time because it's super easy to do, and it works. No matter how tight your shoulders are, you can adjust the band, you can stretch it, you can grab closer as your shoulder joints become healthier, and you can get nice deep stretch back and forth. And I usually do about 10 to 12 back and forth for 1, maybe 2 sets, depending on how tight I am. Next thing I want to do is a T-spine mobility drill or mobility stretch. And this is going to be really helpful for you guys to help stretch the chest out and also stretch your lats a bit as well. And for this one, all you're going to do is get on your knees like this, put your hands out in front of you. Well, it's more of a Y than a T, but it's known as a T-spine mobility drill. And what you're going to do is just simply come down like this and dip as far as you can, and then come back up. So dip down as far as you can, and you'll feel that chest really stretch out. And what we're doing is we're activating the area, and we're letting our brain know that's the area we want to work. Anything you can do to focus on the area you're trying to train is great. Down and up just like this, guys. And for this, again, I would do probably like 8 to 10 repetitions, maybe 1 to 2 sets. And then for the last one, we're going to do some scapular retraction and protraction, because a lot of the times when you guys go to bench, you are not properly retracting your scapula. And if you can't properly retract your scapula, you can't get into the proper position in order to bring the weight all the way down on top of your chest. And what ends up happening is you're pushing a lot through your shoulders, which means you're not lifting as much weight, which means you're possibly damaging your shoulder joints, and you're not activating your chest as much as you could if you're doing it the right way. So it's going to be really important for you guys to take some time and work on your scapular retraction. And a lot of times too, when I see you guys benching like this, it's because you know how to retract your scapula, but you don't know how to depress it. So what we can do here, and if you can look in a mirror, I have a mirror over there. If you're in this position with your shoulders high, this can kind of give you a good indication of what it feels like when you're retracting your scapula but not depressing, okay? So this is what it looks like when you're retracting your scapula but not depressing it. If you kind of roll forward and arch your back and then do scapular retraction, you guys see the big difference here? This is how you should look when you're benching, all right? This is what your back looks like on the bench. If you're here, you're doing it wrong. So this is what it feels like. This is what it should look like. Take a look in the mirror, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, just like this. And if you guys do about 8 to 10 sets of that, 8 to 10 reps of that, maybe 1 to 2 sets, it's gonna prime your body and get you ready so that when you go bench, you know exactly how to position yourself and you know how to activate the area. Now, as you get better and you get stronger, you won't have to do all of this all that often. You can probably get away with just doing the shoulder breakers and then maybe a few warm-up sets on the bench. But if your chest is lagging and you think the sides are uneven, you need to do everything you can to know how to stimulate that area. So put the work in. There's no shortcuts in fitness, especially when trying to build muscle. This workout is going to be geared towards more those of you who are going to the gym, probably doing the 5-day bodybuilding split. And what you're going to do is your traditional chest day, whatever day that is, and then pick another day during the week and do the second workout that I'm going to show you. For the first workout, I want you to focus on overloading. There's 3 muscle building mechanisms. We talk about this all the time. Mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage. Mechanical tension, how much overload you're doing. Metabolic stress, total amount of work you're doing within a certain period of time, which usually means more volume for more reps, more sets, less resting, and then muscle damage. But muscle damage is going to happen no matter what you're doing, whether it's overloading or volume. So muscle damage is going to be a part of both equations. So on day 1, you're going to do 2 exercises. You're going to do 10 sets of a barbell bench press, and I prefer doing it with the plate underneath. We've talked about this before. Gets the best of both worlds, not flat, not inclined, but somewhere in between there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do a pyramid structure. We're going to focus on mechanical tension. We're going to try to overload with more weight. So for set 1, you're going to do 10 repetitions. Then you're going to do 8 reps. Then 8 reps again. Then 6, then 6, then 5, then 5, then 5, then 4, and then 3. And as you're decreasing the amount of reps per set, you're increasing the weight. But no matter how much you increase the weight, your form better be perfect. Just because you're increasing the weight is not a free pass to have absolute garbage form, okay guys? Perfect form all the way down to the chest, all the way up. And now that you've done those activation drills, you should be able to depress and retract your scapula so that when you bring the bar down, you can touch your chest and you're comfortable in this position. You feel 0 strain on your shoulders, and as you press up, you're flexing and activating your chest. Now, an added tip to do. In between all of your sets, I want you guys, while you're resting, and on these ones, you're going to rest about 90 seconds to 2 minutes max because we're lifting heavier weight. In between those sets, guys, I want you to stretch and then squeeze your chest. Stretch and then squeeze your chest. Push your hands together. Force that mind-muscle connection to the area. Flex and squeeze that chest as hard as you can. In between every single set, do it like 4 or 5 times. Just keep the area active, focus on it. That's what you're trying to go. That's where you want the stimulation. And by flexing, you're teaching your brain, okay, I'm working my chest, the bench is working my chest, I'm going to contract that area harder. It's very simple. As soon as you finish the barbell bench press, you're going to do your 10 sets here. You're going to come over to some flies, and you're going to do 6 sets of 12 repetitions. Now, you can do cable flies or you can do dumbbell flies depending on what's available to you in your gym. I'm just going to show on the cables. We've talked about this as well. Cable flies. This is not an exercise where you overload. Overloading on flies is stupid because it's not the most advantageous position to put your body in to stimulate your chest with heavy weight. That's what the bench is for. What we're going to use the flies for is now that we've pre-exhausted our chest and broken it down, we're now going to add some more stimulation, focus on more mind-muscle connection, and work with high volume, which is one of the muscle building mechanisms, metabolic stress. We're now going to fuse metabolic stress by doing high volume and short rest periods. So 6 sets, about 12 repetitions, 30 to 45 seconds rest in between your sets. And you're going to do just a very simple high to low, just like this. Again, depressing and retracting your scapula all the way back, all the way forward, 12 repetitions. And as soon as you're done, 30, 45 seconds rest. And if you want to take advantage and do some more chest flexing and squeezing in between your sets to help with the overall activation, you can do it here as well. This is going to be day 1. Day 2 is going to be 2, maybe 3 days later. So if you need help figuring out your workout schedule, go to my website, muscularstrength.com, go to my forum section, and you can put your entire workout there, and I'll be able to help you figure out the best way to align all these workouts, okay? But on day 2, you're going to follow basically the same structure, except now we're not overloading on the bench press. We're going to do 10 sets of 10 repetitions, and we're going to use dumbbells, all right? Now this is going to get a little different. You're going to obviously make sure you do the warm-ups that we talked about in the beginning of the video, and as you're benching, again, you want to make sure you're arching your back, retracting and depressing your shoulder blades, all the way down, all the way up on every single rep, and you're going to do 10 repetitions, and you're only going to rest for 60 seconds. Now the difference here is, with a 60-second rest period and doing 10 sets of 10 repetitions, by the time you get to set 5 or 6, you might have to actually lower the amount of weight you're using. So let's say you're dumbbell pressing 80s, you might have to lower to 75s. You might have to lower to even 70s. You might have to lower as far down as 65, 60s if you're not used to doing this much volume with such short rest periods. But that is what metabolic stress is, all right? It just blows my mind when I see dudes go to the gym and they start with a weight they know is light just so they can ego lift and add weight every set. Well, it's like if you already know how much weight you can lift for 8 to 10 repetitions, that's where you need to start, right? It just makes sense. The only time at that point you should be adding weight is if you're decreasing the reps because you're working with mechanical tension. Today, we're working with volume, metabolic stress. If you have to lower the weight to get those 10 repetitions in and keep that rest period 60 seconds, that's what you need to do, okay? You have to train smart. Training hard is great. Training smart is better. As soon as you finish your 10 sets here, right back over to the flies. Again, you can do cables if you want. You can do dumbbells if you want to. But you're going to do another set of 6 sets, 12 repetitions, resting only 30 to 45 seconds in between those sets. And that's going to be your workout. And I guarantee you, if you do this for 4 to 6 weeks, you will see a massive change in your chest because we're not spending an extra 2 hours in the gym on one day beating the crap out of our muscle. We're getting in, we're stimulating, we're getting out, and then our chest has time to heal, and then we're back in the gym a couple days later, stimulating again in a different way. Mechanical tension day 1, metabolic stress day 2, leaving, and then repeating the process week after week. If you don't have a lot of time to train, what you have to do is just make sure you're training smart. And if you're training with a 5-day bodybuilding split, you're not really in a position where you can get multiple growth periods throughout the week because you're only hitting everything once a week. So instead of trying to fix every body part at once, focus on one. So for now, we're going to focus on chest. And then in 4 to 6 weeks, switch to another body part, whether it's biceps, legs, calves, traps, triceps, whatever it is. In fact, if you guys want to vote below what you'd like to see in the next video to bring up a lagging area, vote below, leave your comments, and I'll make that the next video. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you did, be sure to tap that like button. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys. If you guys like my simple approach to training, you've got to check out my only 2 series over here. Every single body part, the only 2 exercises you need for muscle growth. And if you want to see more common sense training, download my app and try one of my full 12-week programs. I'll see you there.